1010 XL 92.5 FM.
All right, we welcome in Afternoon Drive, our final show here from Hidden Hills today, and yet another Guggen is in the books, and we sure appreciate our friends from Hidden Hills always having us out, and of course, our friends from Coastal Equipment who've sponsored this thing, like Jack O'Brien just told the crowd in here, for the longest time. Thank you to Coastal Equipment, to the folks here at Hidden Hills, and of course to all of our sponsors who come here, and the players who played out here. Wonderful day today, hot. I didn't play because I was at the practice with you, but it was sure good to see so many of the sponsors and folks out here at another gorgeous day for the hot day, but a gorgeous day for the Guggen. Frangie, Hayes Carline on location. JJ LaSelva back at World Headquarters. How was Fenway, JJ? I got to know.
Dude, I got to go back. It was awesome, man. I was expecting it to be awesome, and it was even above that. The weather was perfect. I was right there to watch a walk-off home run for the Red Sox, but we split it when I was there 1-1. It was just a great experience. Love Boston. Weather was perfect. I landed yesterday and walked outside, and I'm like, did I forget that it's hot in Florida? But no, it's like unseasonably insane today.
Yeah, by the way, that does happen. When you travel and you forget about it, and the minute you walk outside in Florida after you've been in Rhode Island, Massachusetts, wherever, it hits you like someone punched you in the face.
I'm like, am I crazy to live here?
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, it's. I'm glad though, JJ. The Braves won the series. You were the good luck charm.
Listen, I brought the energy. I brought the good vibes. We turned the bats around. We were hitting it off the wall. I mean, we're here. We're back. We're a game above 500. Watch out, Mets.
Yeah, and
Snitker out, LaSelva in.
And by the way, that's a team that started 0-7 is now over 500, so they're going to be just fine. That is a cool setting, though, isn't it, JJ? I've been to Fenway many times, and I love the setting around it. I love all the little joints around it. And you got to see that green monster. You can't imagine it till you see it, right? It's a beautiful Fenway.
It is, and it's such a small stadium. I mean, I know it was small, but once you get there, you're like, wow, you could just hit this right off the wall pretty easily. And I also love, like, the vibes with people in Boston. Like, all the locals love sports. And we'll just sit there and talk to you about sports all day. I love that city. Great city.
Yeah. I think they listed 305, 315 down the left field line. It's probably about 290.
Right.
I think baseball people, it's 37.5 feet high, the wall. And I think baseball people will tell you it's probably about 290, somewhere thereabouts. So, but I'm glad you're back, and glad you had a good time up there. Loser Monday, I'll buy you guys bonus tomorrow since we're out here today. Rory McIlroy, I think, is arguably the worst player in the history of the PGA Tour.
The second time he's gotten you.
That's unbelievable. But let me say this. In fairness to Rory, it wouldn't have mattered because your two guys went off. You know, what a fun PGA until about
the 10th, maybe yesterday.
The 10th, about 5 o'clock. And then it became pretty clear that Scotty Scheffler said, hold my beer, to all those folks that said there's a clear-cut number one in the world. Rory's entitled to have a bad tournament. It happens. But Scotty Scheffler said, just in case you forgot. Wasn't that what I took out of that was, in case you guys have forgotten, let me give you a little reminder. By winning a major by 5 shots, and he won it by 5 shots because he laid up on 18. Or he would have won it by 6.
Would have won it by 6. And remember, the opening day, he double bogeys the 16th because he got a mud ball, and it flew left on him. Just a bad break. And so, I mean, he was in the middle of the fairway on 16 on Thursday and ends up with a double bogey because of the mud ball. And so he really didn't play his best by his own admission. Really didn't swing it all that well the first couple of days. He is just sensational. You're starting to see, comparisons to, other players in sports. I heard Tim Duncan this weekend, which I think is a good one. Big fundamentals, not a lot of sizzle. Pete Sampras was one that was brought up on the broadcast yesterday. I think that one's very fitting, just consistent excellence. But again, not a lot of sizzle to him as an individual, just a spectacular player. And you're starting to now see the golf historians really compare Scheffler to Jack Nicklaus, which we had Tiger looking like he was going to eclipse Nicklaus and Nicklaus's peer from a talent standpoint, but Tiger was light years different than Jack from a sizzle standpoint standpoint, a personality standpoint. So Scheffler may be the closest thing that we've seen to Jack Nicklaus since obviously the Golden Bears heyday in the 70s, which is really exciting, and it's great for the sport. Scheffler, I think, because he's cognizant of that kind of stoicism reputation, was animated, after he won, even though there wasn't a lot of drama to it. I don't know how much of that he kind of forced, slamming the hat down and and screaming and whatnot. But it's good to see. He's such a world-class player. It'll be awesome to see what he does at Oakmont. He's now in play. We talked about it with Rory, and so now we're going to make the same mistake and apply it over to Scheffler. We were talking about Rory maybe winning the calendar Grand Slam because of how well the other majors beyond the Masters set up for him. Well, now with Scheffler, you can talk career Grand Slam because he's got the 2 Masters. He's now won the PGA. He'll be a favorite going to Oakmont, and then we'll see if he can solve playing well in the British Open. But just a dominant performance and really cool to see.
Golf is about 2 things. I mean, it's about a number of things, but it's about 2 things. A, shot making. How many great shots can you make? And B, how much can you not mess up? To your point about consistency. On B, he's about as good as I've ever seen. Now, he's not the shot maker Tiger was. You're not going to remember 10 shots necessarily. But you know what you're going to remember? He never hit it out of bounds. You're going to remember he didn't miss greens. Unless, again, on 18, he missed the fairway, so he wisely laid up, chipped it up, didn't really care if he made the putt. And but he is, if you're a weekend golfer, you all know the guys that make all the great shots, and you also know the guy that the tennis player that hits it right back, the guy that just hits it down the middle and doesn't mess up. And Scotty Scheffler, he is so steady. I was watching yesterday, probably the last. The cool thing they do, they have the shot tracker, but now they have the target. So they have the yellow flag that says target, and then it's got the shot tracker thing. You notice how many times his was dead on. I mean, dead. And then you watch Rory win; he's never dead on. He's spraying it left and right, and then he's scrambling, and then he's bombing, and then he's winning. But to your point about Tiger and Jack being so different, well, similarly, how different are Rory and Scotty? Rory bombs it further, much longer, shot maker, but also misses fairways and misses greens and scrambles some, and Scotty never does. But he is a really good player, boy. To your point about starting to build his forever legacy, it does feel that way, doesn't it? I agree with you. It feels like it's too early, but that forever legacy he's got 3 majors now, but that forever legacy, he's only in his 20s, is beginning to be built. I feel that way too.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, if you looked at the players that are competing today and said who's going to end up with the most career majors, I think you'd have to go with Scotty Scheffler because he just has so much longer of his career left. And again, the way he plays, it's just been remarkable what he's done for 3 years. I mean, how often he wins. In addition to his 3 majors, he's got 2 players. He's the only guy to defend his title at the Players' Championship. It's just extraordinary. Now, again, the sport is about as competitive as it's ever been, but you do appreciate Scheffler's all-around game. Like Bryson DeChambeau, watching him this weekend, obviously, having picked him and really locking in on everything he was doing from Thursday on, it's amazing to watch him off the tee. I mean, it is incredible what he is able to do to a golf course, particularly one like Quail Hollow that is begging for the bomber to take it apart. But he can't do anything beyond that. I mean, once Bryson has hit his drive, he is incredibly mediocre with his approaches, his irons, and his putting. And it's his driver is such a weapon. It's why he'll always contend at courses like this that don't require a lot of nuance. It's simply just hit it 360 yards. Well, it's just unthinkable what he can do off the tee compared to everybody else. But he's so average in every other element of the game that while he will be able to contend, look, he's won the U.S. Open. He's a great player. But it speaks to how Scheffler has it all. Scheffler has it all. And it's just going to be and he just doesn't seem to get complacent. I mean, he talks about his trophy room at his house. It's not even set up. He's like, yeah, I've got a room with all the golf stuff in it. And one of the reporters asked, is it really presented nicely? And he was like, I mean, I'd like to say yes, but no,
It's
not
not, but
really.
it's not.
I mean, you can just tell this is somebody who has 15, 20 majors in sight. He's not occupying with what he's done. It's all about where he's going next.
The back to DeChambeau, obviously he's a really good player. He shows up on all these majors and is in the money 2 or 3 days every time. He's a really good player. As a golfer, as the guy as a weekend hack golfer, as a lot of us are, gosh, how he hits it is weird. The way his arms are stiff. You know, I mean,
Even on putts.
Even on putts, they're like that. It's just weird watching it. And look, it works. But it's just how stiff his arm, even on putts, how stiff his arms are. It's just weird to watch. Again, it works. You do know because it was big news when it happened. All his clubs are the same length.
Yeah.
He went all. I mean, that's not. I mean,
and now he's gonna between now and Oakmont.
Yeah.
He was like, well, I got to work on a new ball.
Yeah, he said
we got to
he
get
told
to the
him, he told Amanda Valianis, I need some new equipment.
Yeah.
Too. But it's just he's a very unusual looking player. But I tell you what he has. He's become a bit of a golfer of the people a little bit. He's
done a nice job.
He does
with
every
that.
interview.
Yeah.
He does. He's respectful. So
he definitely gained some ground on Rory this week. Not just in terms of how they performed on the course, but Bryson DeChambeau had some disappointing finishes both days, and was gracious enough to meet with reporters both on TV and the assembled media. Rory McIlroy blowing off the media for 4 days. I mean, come on, you can't do that. Coming off winning the Masters, going after the calendar Grand Slam on a course you own, and people could be like, well, it's because they tested his driver and it failed, which is very commonplace on tour. And then Scheffler reveals, well, the same thing happened.
And by the way,
Scheffler's like, I had my driver failed,
and by the way,
I was playing with a replacement driver all week. Didn't affect Scotty Scheffler.
By the way, so Rory's driver failed, Scotty's driver failed, and then Scotty said very casually in the postgame, yeah, that happens quite often on tour, or regularly happens on tour. Did you know that?
I did not.
I had no idea. I mean, Scotty's direct quote was, "The driver testing is something that happens that regularly happens on tour." I had no idea that was a thing. I mean, I know there's specs, and I figured once in a great while somebody might fail. But I would have never known in a million years that that's regularly failing is a thing, so you have your backup driver. I would have never known that.
I never knew it either. I mean, I think they estimated that because Scheffler was like, I'm kind of surprised mine lasted as long as it did. I think they feel like they have like about an 8-9 month window before a driver is going to be so worn out that it's going to fail the inspection.
Oh, so is that what it is? It gets worn down?
It gets worn down.
Okay, I didn't.
And so, but again, it wasn't anything like when the story came out, whenever it did, Friday morning maybe after Rory's disappointing first round, and it was like, well, his driver failed. They were very adamant to say this is commonplace, it happens all the time. It's not like this player is cheating.
Right.
It just the player would have no idea because the clubs are always right on the border. So once they've been used for several months, they're going to wear down and they're going to eventually fail. Yeah. But anyway, I was really surprised at how Rory handled the week. I agree with you. Bryson DeChambeau, I think, has done a nice job of trying to rehabilitate his image. But if he's gonna, and again, I understand he's the reigning U.S. Open champion. But if DeChambeau can start figuring out from the fairway in, he's got the potential to be unstoppable. I mean, unstoppable. But he's got a long way to go. To catch Scheffler, who was just extraordinary in every element of the game, including the mental component of the game.
Hayes, I'm a big hitter. I don't know if you knew that or not.
Yeah.
So I wonder if my drives suddenly go from 225 to 240 if I get to get tested. I'm going to have to Bud Boy test is what I'm going to have to.
Right.
I am interested, joking aside, when Lee Smith is with us on Thursday, having him break down that for us.
Right.
What makes a driver suddenly – to your point, I didn't know that was it. You just said it. I didn't know that's what happened. It wears down. But what makes a driver suddenly not right? But
the other thing that was strange
it was fascinating to me. I just didn't know.
I totally agree because you just don't see it.
You don't hear anyone talk about it
in a major event. And I guess the other thing is they only test like a third of the field. So Scheffler's point was, well, look, if we're going to do this, let's just make it more robust and let's just test every player.
Well, you would think
at every event instead of just doing a third of the field, because then there could be 2/3 of the field that are playing with the driver and they have a little bit of an advantage because it's a little lighter.
Yeah, that makes no sense.
So
anyway. But I did not. But hey, bottom line is Scotty Scheffler is such a great player and played really well. And again, it was fun watching the PGA yesterday. And you guys will get your food, even though I hate both of you. That'll happen on tomorrow afternoon rather than today. A lot of things to talk about today. The big story around here, Jags are back on the field. It was good. We were out today. It was hot today.
Hot.
It was hot. But for the first time, we saw the 25 Jaguars as they will be constructed. We saw the Jaguars. We saw the way they looked. We saw the way they looked on the field together. We saw them constructed, and I got a lot of thoughts. I know you do too. You couldn't see a lot in terms of performance. I mean, the performance is what it is. But in terms of watching the play and watching them together and seeing who fits where, we can't tell you who lines up where. That's part of our agreement, nor should we. The Jags have been very kind to let us come out there. We're not going to say this guy lined up here and this guy lined up there. But just seeing how they kind of fit together.
Yeah. And Cohen even said that's changing every day.
That's
and
exactly
obviously
right.
We're only seeing once a week.
Yeah, that's
so.
exactly right. But at least, and when I say that, I don't necessarily mean specific positions, but just seeing how the offense and the defense fits and who looks the part and who doesn't. So we got a lot of things. So we'll get that we can't share with you. So we'll certainly talk about some of that. Ruben Chinyolu's back at Florida. Okay. I got him 25 and 18 next year. He's going to break Neil Walk's records. I think that's going to happen. We'll talk a little NBA.
That was a big get. I mean, getting him back.
You knew he was.
It's a bigger get than the numbers would tell you.
Correct. And I think you kind of assumed he was coming back. But there's still something to be said, even though you assume he's coming back, when you hear that he is.
Absolutely.
So we'll certainly talk about that. So we got a lot of things to get to. Let's start with some Jaguar football. We're glad to be out here at Hidden Hills on this Monday. We always thank our friends from The Best Bet. It's always the Best Bet Monday around here. The Best Bet does so many good things. In fact, one's right down the road from here, by the way. There's a Monument Road Best Bet. That's the big one here in Jacksonville. There's also that fantastic St. Augustine location. That's the newest one. And, of course, Orange Park is on US 17. A lot of fun things going on at Best Bet. Thank you to The Best Bet, folks, for always being our Monday sponsor. We're glad to be here at Hidden Hills for the Guggen. We'll talk some Jaguars after this.
The Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
In times of old, the world was full of wonder and magic. But times change.
Get your wonder and magic on 1010XL.
Hey, it's Hayes Carline. If you're shopping for a new ride, you've got to check out Atlantic Infinity. Not only do you get a luxury vehicle, you also get the Atlantic Infinity Promise free with every new car. That's almost $2,500 in added value just for buying smarter. And look, you don't have to sweat it out on the lot. Shop in their indoor climate-controlled showrooms. It's cool, comfortable, hassle-free. I'm talking 40 cars in this thing. AC, they're on Atlantic near St. John's Bluff, or browse anytime at AtlanticInfinity.com.
Hey, don't buy a diamond at one of those big box corporate jewelers in the town center until you see what Beard's Diamonds can offer. Hicken here. Beard's Diamonds will give you a better price on a better quality diamond. Beards, they're not beholden to Wall Street. They are beholden to the people of Jacksonville. Why? Because they're the only locally owned jeweler in the town center. Yes, Beards has the best diamond selection in the region. No middleman prices on hand-picked diamonds. All shapes, all sizes. They also have the top bridal designers like Tacori and Veragio. And here's something else. Unlike the others, Beards doesn't have commissioned salespeople. Their experts get paid whether you buy something or not. So no pressure, ever. Their associates are diamond experts. They'll teach you how to buy a diamond the smart way. We're really lucky to have Beards here as a refreshing alternative. You get it all. No compromises, highest quality, personal service, no middleman pricing, and unbeatable guarantees. Beards Diamonds, the only locally owned jeweler. They're at the St. John's Town Center.
Frank Frangie here for Stanley Pools. If you're dreaming of putting in a pool this year, choosing the right company is the most important decision you'll make. I've trusted Stanley Pools to build my pool, renovate my pool, and maintain my pool. Stanley Pools has been the best in the business since 1988, and they're still family owned. Call them today at 904-269-7277 or find them online at StanleyPoolsFL.com. That's Stanley Pools, a family tradition of fine swimming pools.
This is Mark Nato. My son Justin injured his hand playing baseball for JU. Southeast orthopedic specialist performed surgery just a few days later, and within 5 weeks, he was cleared to play in the ASUN baseball tournament. Our family has trusted Southeast orthopedic specialists for years. For any orthopedic injury, let Southeast orthopedic specialists take care of you too.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast orthopedic specialists.
Hi, it's Frank Frangie. You hear my buddies Dan and Jeff talk about that great food at Daly's Dash all the time. Jeff loves that Duval, and Dan loves the Boss. And they're right. Both are terrific. But I can tell you they have so many excellent options at Daly's Dash. Salads and flatbreads and tacos and quesadillas, you name it. And, of course, those fantastic subs and sandwiches. I just had the Italian sub. It is so good. The thing is, Daly's Dash is really committed to their food and committed to making it perfect for you. Everything is fresh, made to order every time. And there's so many Daly's locations in town, no matter where you are, there's one near you. I love to pop in and grab a sub at lunch, or maybe after a round of golf, or maybe even after calling one of those Jags games. There's never a bad time to stop into Daly's Dash and grab that great food. So head there today. Take it from Dan and Jeff, or take it from me. They say it's nicer here. It really is. And the food is delicious. Head to Daly's Dash today.
As a Florida homeowner, you're no stranger to mosquito problems. And although it's tempting to use DIY methods to get rid of them, mosquitoes are relentless. That's why it's important to enlist the help of the mosquito experts at Florida Pest Control. At Florida Pest Control, we offer specialized treatment solutions that are effective against mosquito infestations and are committed to keeping our customers protected year-round. For your free quote, give us a call or visit flapest.com today. Florida Pest Control, your local mosquito control experts.
Enhance your home with Renewal by Anderson's superior craftsmanship and timeless design. Right now, buy 2 windows or patio doors and get the third at 60% off. Plus, 0 down, no payments, and no interest for 12 months. This offer expires May 31st. Renewal by Anderson, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free consultation.
License number CGC 1527613.
She's seen and heard all over 1010XL's video and social channels.
Whether the big cats are at the bank or on the road, I'm there too. Follow my updates all season long, on air and online.
All things Mia are driven by Arlington Toyota.
Hello, First Coast. I'm sure by now you have seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We're an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We're committed to customer service, reliability, and have an unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today from GFL, Green for Life.
Jimerson Burr is a full-service, Florida-based commercial law firm that has experience and capabilities to handle any legal issue a business is confronted with. Learn more about what they can do for you at jimersonfirm.com.
This is Greg Huntington, a.k.a. The Mangler. I'm on the winning team at Waste Management. If your business needs sustainable environmental services for waste removal and recycling collection, then you can count on the industry leader of WM to deliver results. Go to WM.com/Duval.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
It's a Best Bet Monday on The Frangie Show with fantastic locations in Jacksonville, Orange Park, and now in St. Augustine. It's Best Bet.
Hey, folks, this week at Best Bet Orange Park, get in on the action of the Stars and Stripes $200 no-limit hold'em with $50,000 guarantee. You heard me right, a $50,000 guarantee. Satellites kick off May 20th. That's tomorrow. And Flight A starts at noon on Friday. So I'm telling you, you want to have a lot of fun, head up to Best Bet. Best Bet Orange Park, the Stars and Stripes $200 no-limit hold'em with a $50,000 guarantee. Head to Best Bet Orange Park, right there on 17, if you get a chance to. Frank Frangie, Hayes Carline, JJ LaSelva with you. Glad you're with us. We're at Hidden Hills. The Guggen just wrapped up, yet another annual Guggen. And tip of the cap to our friend Jack O'Brien. He's on our sales staff. He's a golf guy and a very good one. He works really hard to put this thing together, and he does it every year. So thanks to Hidden Hills, thanks to Coastal Equipment, thanks to our buddy Jacko, who does all-time good guy, by the way. He does a wonderful job putting this thing on, and we appreciate Jack. And all the people that took the time to play at our Guggen today. We truly do. We're going to talk some Jaguar football, and we'll start by talking a little bit about a cornerback that I think might be a pretty good player. Tyson Campbell looks the part. Tyson Campbell can still be one of the better cornerbacks in the league. I believe that in all my heart. And Hayes Carline caught up with the former Georgia Bulldog today.
We are pleased to be joined with outstanding Jaguars cornerback Tyson Campbell here on 1010XL 92.5 FM. Man, it's always great to see you. How you doing?
I'm good, man. Blessed, man. Good to see you.
How was your off season?
Going well, man. Training hard. Getting this defense together, man, with these new coaching staff, man. So I'm excited.
What's this new staff been like in terms of a breath of fresh air for you guys?
It's been amazing. A staff full of energy. Bringing attention to detail each day. Bringing culture in each day. And being disciplined. So I'm loving it so far.
It's hard to believe you're just 25, yet you're entering your 5th year. There were some guys in this draft that were 25 years old. Do you feel like you still haven't even really gotten to your peak of what you'll be in the NFL, Tyson?
Of course not. I feel like, the sky's the limit for me. I'm just scratching the surface of my potential. And I'm just, me being on the field is what's going to allow me to reach my potential. So that's my focus.
In terms of health, everything good?
Yeah, everything good. Yeah, I'm good.
And looking at this scheme, what do you think about Campanelli's system and how does it play to your strengths?
Just the diversity of it, playing different coverages, having different schemes, not being one-dimensional. Main thing I'm excited about, just keeping the offense on their toes and allowing me to be, me.
How much does it help having a player like Brian Thomas Jr. to go against in terms of, obviously a very elite NFL receiver?
Oh, it's great, man. BT brings, speed, quickness, strong hands and ability to take the top off the defense, and which most of the top receivers in the league all acquire those qualities. So it's good to have that each day in practice, prepare me, for Sundays.
Is he special? Obviously you've had some big-time teammates here at receiver, but you've gone against the best of the best. Yeah. Where does he fit in?
I think he's top 10 for sure. And he's only going into his second year, so it just goes to show how talented he is. So I feel like he's going to take an even bigger leap this year going into year 2. So I'm excited for him.
Tyson, you guys have some new faces in the secondary. Who has stood out to you?
I would say Eric Murray and Jordan Lewis, guys that, were leaders in their secondary and on their prior teams. They're just bringing that same, veteran mindset and bringing their knowledge into the game and giving us different tips to use on the field.
Travis Hunter is obviously attempting to do something extraordinary in terms of playing both sides of the ball. What's been kind of your advice to him and maybe some early impressions of what athleticism he brings to the roster?
Just be where his feet at, you know what I'm saying? Like, on the days he's on offense, focus on the offense. When he's on defense, focus on the defense. Just taking a day at a time and, just be himself. And when he's being himself, he's a hell of a player. So that's the main thing I want to preach to him. Just keep being himself and don't let the outside noise, distract you.
You guys have been through a lot in terms of guys that, you and Josh Hines-Allen and Trayvon and things like that. Yeah. Do you feel like with Coach Cohen now it's a fresh start and now really some big things can happen for you guys?
Yeah, for sure. Definitely like a fresh start, like you said, a breath of fresh air. Everybody, has that, those first day of school type jitters, excited to, display their talents on the field today. So it's been fun.
Tyson Campbell, thank you so much for your time. Best of luck to you.
Thank you.
He's still just 25. I mean, there were players in this draft that were 25 years old. This is Tyson Campbell's 5th year, going into his 5th year in the NFL, and he just turned 25 in March. So this is a player that has not gotten to the prime of his career yet, and I do think has a chance to really have a special career as a Jaguar. Obviously, he's under contract now for a few more years left, which is great. I thought I asked Liam Cohen about Tyson Campbell after the interview, and I thought Liam Cohen had some good insights into Tyson Campbell, not just the player that he is, but also how this scheme fits his eye. This is Liam Cohen earlier about Tyson Campbell.
I thought he's done a nice job so far. I have. I mean, he has those fluid movements, long range. I thought he had a nice day, specifically today, but also leading up into today. I just think he's done a nice job stacking blocks. He's got good vision on the quarterback right now, playing a little bit of a different scheme that he's been playing over the last year and being a little bit more vision on the quarterback, patience, playing a little bit of off man. I just think that's kind of where he's going to be able to excel. He's got confidence right now, which is always good from a corner. I've been really pleased with Tyson thus far.
I thought that was really insightful, and I think that really does suit Tyson Campbell's skill set, allow him to, get those eyes on the quarterback and make those kind of breaks that we know he's capable of and utilizing that length. I got more excited to see what Tyson Campbell can be under Anthony Campanile today.
I thought the same thing. I thought when Liam Cohen, to your question in the presser, said it's a different defense, he now has his eyes on the quarterback. Now again, we don't know exactly what they're going to play, but when Liam said that typically means zone. I mean, if you're watching the quarterback, you're in a zone. If you're watching the receiver, you're running with him in man. Now, that doesn't mean they're going to be an all-zone team. Who knows what they're going to be? But I thought the same thing. I do think he's a guy that will be really good at that. He's athletic. Rather than I'm in man and I'm chasing a guy across the field the whole time and I'm pawing at him and jamming him and turning with him and my back's to the quarterback, if what you're doing now is more watching the quarterback, which means more zone, I'll be interested to see him do that. Second part of my thought about him. Your point's great about him being 25. Your point was that he's still a young player. But the other side of that now is he's seen the ups and downs. He's been in this league for a while. And so to that end, I do think what I think I'm going to like about this defense, there's enough guys that have played enough football and enough football here that will really emerge as leaders. Obviously, Eric Armstead is one of the NFL Men of the Year, so obviously he knows how to lead. He's a veteran guy in his 30s. But Josh Hines-Allen and Trayvon Walker have been here a while now. Foye Oluwakin's a terrific leader, and he plays the leadership spot at middle linebacker. Devin Lloyd's been around a little while. Tyson Campbell's been here a long time. Dewey's been here. I think you'll see leadership on that defense, Hayes. And I'm not just being cliche. I'm not saying it for that reason. But these are a lot of guys that have been here. Yeah, the scheme's different, but the locker room's not. The uniforms aren't. The division opponents aren't. You know what I mean? The stadium's not. They have the feel of this thing. And I sensed that a little bit when Trevor was talking about all the guys, new guys plus guys who have been here a while. So, yeah, I like kind of that mix. So very good point. Good job on the interview with him. Some things that stood out to me. I can't wait to watch De'Ami Brown play football. I can't wait to just watching him today. It jumped off the page for me. And again, we'll see how they align when they play games. But if you have Brian Thomas Jr., Travis Hunter, and De'Ami Brown on the field together, which is what I hope they do and which is what I think they're going to do, I can't wait to watch that. Because I think I watch De'Ami Brown because I keep hearing how good he. Every time I talk to one of those guys, hey, tell me about the draft pick. Yeah, but De'Ami Brown. I don't know if you get. That's what I've been getting. I've been telling you. I've been saying it on the air. So, boy, keep an eye on number 5. I'm going to say it again. Obviously, everyone's going to have an eye on number 7 and number 12. We all know that, and they should. But keep an eye on number 5. That stood out. Did you notice how lean Devin Lloyd was?
Yes.
Devin Lloyd
He's lost a lot of weight.
He looks like he's 25 pounds lighter.
Yeah.
He looks like he's 25 pounds. He does. Someone told me he was telling people he's about 240. I thought he played in the 260s. I thought he looked clunky and slow last year. Did you think that?
A lot of the guys were like that.
Yeah, well, they were.
And Devin Lloyd was at the top of that list.
Devin Lloyd. Trayvon looked lean.
Yeah.
Did you notice that?
I thought Hines-Allen looked
Josh looked leaner than he did last
Yeah.
year. He had looked leaner 2 years ago. Boy, Trayvon Walker looked lean to me today. Devin Lloyd looked leaner, the leanest. De'Ami Brown caught my attention watching him. I couldn't see where we were at one end. We were at the south end, I guess, of the fields where we stood. Okay. I could not see any of the Miller Electric Center because Fred Johnson blocked it out.
He is a big guy.
Did you see how big he was?
He is a big.
He may be the biggest human of all time.
Yeah.
Did you? I mean, he is gargantuan. Was he big like that at Florida? Did he grow? I mean, I watched him play at Florida. But I didn't remember him being.
He must not have been.
Who's the Eagles guy? Jordan Mailata?
Yeah.
Who's like 6'8", 370 or whatever. Then he looked like that.
He does look like that. Yeah. I mean, he is a physical marvel in terms of his stature and his frame. And it'll be fun seeing what he can do. And,
they had no pads on today.
Right. And the other thing too that impressed me, he did not seem at all bothered by the heat.
Yeah.
And a lot of them were. And not to again, it's the first day and it's voluntary.
Yeah, I watched him too.
But, Anton Harrison, I thought, was kind of struggling just with the heat. I'm not saying they weren't doing enough performance-wise to say that Anton Harrison had a bad day. I mean, that they weren't doing enough to at least for me to recognize that. But what you could tell is the guys that when they did get a break, the guys that were really feeling the heat, and Anton Harrison was one of them. Fred Johnson looked fine. I was really impressed with not just his frame, but his conditioning.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, he just seemed like he was back at the Swamp.
Yeah, what I liked when I watched them today, and the things I saw today that I picked out to notice were which guys looked ready to play. All three of those receivers, Parker Washington too, the forward, even some of the guys I assume will be backup receivers did too. I did not get a good look at a lot of the younger players. I wanted to get a closer look at Jack Kaiser. I tried to, didn't get quite as good a look at him. The offensive line were down at our end for a while, so we certainly saw those. I'll say this. I don't know who's going to wind up playing where on the offensive front. I think I've been saying this, and I'll still say this. I think what you're ultimately going to see through camp or through the early part of camp is everybody kind of bouncing around and playing everywhere. I think you're going to see some of that. But I like that group. That looks like it looks like a good collection of guys.
It's the best looking offensive line they've had in several years.
It really is.
In my opinion. From just a physical presence.
Yeah, in T-shirts and helmets.
Yeah.
And, I mean, in jerseys and helmets and shorts. I think that too. I thought it was the best collection of offensive linemen I've seen them have in a while.
Yeah, I agree. I was impressed with the group as a whole, and obviously you have to be impressed with the competition aspect that James Gladstone, Liam Cohen, and Tony Baselli have brought in here. Adding the 4 free agents, adding a premium draft pick in Wyatt Milam, and so yeah, I was impressed with that. Switching back to the defense, I'll tell you a guy that I think is a godsend that he's here, and I was really impressed with him just physically from what I saw. Emmanuel Ogbah. This is somebody who has been in the league, understands the league, understands his role, and he looks physically, and I thought, sensational.
I thought so too. Number 90. I thought he did too.
Ogbah was a guy that was sort of in that second wave, really kind of post-draft.
Yeah.
The draft of pass rusher didn't really fall to them where they would have liked. So Gladstone immediately, signs a free agent, which is that's good GMing. And Emmanuel Ogbah, I was really impressed seeing him today, and I think he's got a chance to really have a big time supplemental role here, but to do it at a high level, something that we haven't seen here in the last 2 or 3 years.
Going a little long here, but I want to wrap up the Jaguars in this segment. A couple other guys that jumped off the page to me. Tyler Lacey was active as heck. They need him to be good now. They need those. Remember, the one spot that they didn't really address in the player procurement phase, either the draft or free agency, was the defensive line, the interior defensive line. Really not much edge either. They drafted one, and then they signed Ogbah, to your point, a little bit later on. But I thought Tyler Lacey was active. I thought that group looked good. I thought the Jordan Jefferson looked good. He looked a little leaner. He's a stockier guy, but I thought he looked a little leaner. I thought Eric Armstead looked good. And by the way, on the roster we were given out, okay, if you looked at the roster, it says Eric Armstead defensive tackle. That was kind of good to see, wasn't it?
Hallelujah.
I mean, as I'm looking at this roster, it says defensive end for Hines Allen, Walker, Cole. Okay, those are defensive ends. A lot of guys, it says DL, which means he could play either side, right? And Eric Armstead, it says defensive tackle. So wasn't that good to see?
That is good to see. He can have an outstanding season here.
I think so too.
But he's got to be utilized the right way, and clearly he was not last year.
All right, so a lot of Jaguar talk, a lot more to talk about as the week goes on and as the days go on. I got some other things we'll get to. We'll get back to golf at the top of the hour, but I got a thought about that Gator basketball team. We've got some news we saw today. You've probably seen it by now. It involved Ruben Chinyelu. That and more. We continue. Stay with us.
The Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
We saw the games.
A tremendous return. It's first and goal, Jacksonville.
And we love to talk about it.
Really changed the course of the game.
1010XL.
It's tune-up time, and Florida Home AC, the official AC partner of the Jaguars, wants to partner with you for a cool summer season. Tune up your AC unit right now so it's running at peak performance when you need it most. Just call 777-4300 and order a tune-up for just $59. Keep your unit humming at optimal level. Log on to FloridaHomeAC.com and take advantage of their savings. Keep cool with Florida Home AC. That's 777-4300.
Hi, it's Frank Frangie. Look, when it comes to glass, there's one name I trust, and that's Lee Encased Glass. Mirrors, custom showers, tabletops, even foggy glass windows, they handle all that. And they've been doing it right, since long before I ever picked up a mic. Local, family-owned, and part of this community, just like we are. They've taken great care of me, including our brand-new walk-off offices. Guys, they did a great job, and I promise they'll do the same for you. Lee & Kate's, it's the clear choice. Check them out at leeandkatesglass.com.
Here's Linda Beaver.
Mayday, mayday, mayday.
Come in, Linda. Over.
We've got a sea of new vehicles and they're priced so low they're rocking the boat. Come check out our biggest selection of inventory with prices that don't break the bank and our wow ya experience that will ensure smooth sailing for your next car purchase. Plus, take advantage of our peace of mind warranties, transparent pricing to provide you with a peace of mind. You better beat the surge and head to the all-new Beaver Toyota or Chevrolet for the car buying experience you deserve.
Frangie here for South State Bank. At South State, they believe strong relationships build strong businesses. That's why they take the time to understand your goals, challenges, and vision so they can provide solutions tailored to your needs, like they've done for me for years. South State has always been there for our business and our charity. With a team you can trust and a commitment to personalized service, South State Bank is here to be more than your bank. They're your partner in business. Visit southstatebank.com. South State Bank, member FDIC.
For the greenest, luscious lawn on the block, choose the local legends, Roundtree Sod. Don't just settle for ordinary. Let Roundtree Sod deliver you a picture-perfect lawn. To get a free estimate, call 7414-SOD. 7414-SOD.
Get this. Joey and me were supposed to go to this concert next week, right? But then something terrible happened. Joey was driving without a seatbelt. But he didn't wreck. No, he got pulled over. Now Joey has to pay for a seatbelt ticket instead of a concert ticket, and I have to go by myself. How lame is that? So Joey, if you're out there, you're an idiot. Wear your seatbelt or you'll get a ticket.
All across the country, cops are cracking down. Click it or ticket, day and night.
Funded by the Florida Department of Transportation.
Get the best soccer talk on the First Coast on the Coaches Show, presented by Sporting Jacks. Cole Pepper, Sporting Jacks head of soccer Mark Warburton, and Sporting Jacks women's coach Stacey Baylor discuss the beautiful game Tuesday evenings at 6 on 1010 a.m.
Hacker here, and let's talk sincerity. You know, there's a big difference between someone tossing you a casual, hey, how you doing, and genuinely asking, no, really, how are you doing? At Awaken 180, I felt that sincerity every single week while dropping 122 pounds, and I still feel it every month in free maintenance for life. Sure, seeing that number plunge on the scale was incredible, but what truly pushed me across the goal line? My amazing Awaken 180 coaches. They coached me up like I was prepping for draft day, always in my corner, sincerely invested in my success, and check this out. I'm going on a cruise in a couple of weeks, complete with formal night. Now, normally, cameras and I have a strained relationship. I hated taking pictures, but thanks to Awaken 180, the camera and I have made peace. No more ducking photos. Want results you can actually keep? Do what we all did and call 844-346-1800 or book online at awaken180weightloss.com.
And welcome back to another episode of Potty Talk with our current champion. So what's your secret to your perfect plumbing proficiency?
It's simple, really. Roland Reach Plumbing is always the right answer.
Roland Reach Plumbing, 260-7059.
Out here, you'll find a community of hardworking creators with loyal followers, along with proud moments worth sharing. And farm to table, well, that's just supper. And whether it's a raised garden bed, acres of land, or something for your animals, we've got all the supplies and are happy to share a little know-how.
Welcome to Tractor Supply. Into life out here.
DivorceMenOnly.com. This is Kenny Lay of Kenny Lay & Associates. Our firm specializes in representing men in family law. That's all we do. That's our only focus. We can help with all of your family law needs, such as divorce, custody, alimony, and child support. For over a decade, we have helped thousands of men with these types of issues. We even have an appellate division ready to challenge a judge's ruling. If you need a family law attorney, go to DivorceMenOnly.com. DivorceMenOnly.com. Offices, Jacksonville.
Jumbo Shrimp Baseball is home this week at the newly renovated Bi-Star Ballpark. The Jumbo Shrimp take on the AAA St. Louis Cardinals. Tomorrow is Purr in the Park, followed by Wear It Home Wednesday t-shirt giveaway. Then it's Coors Light Thirsty Thursday and fireworks Friday, Saturday, and Sunday on our first Honey Drippers weekend. Baseball all weekend. Tickets start at just $5. JackShrimp.com for tickets. Jumbo Shrimp Baseball, affordable family fun.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
It's a Best Bet Monday on The Frangie Show with fantastic locations in Jacksonville, Orange Park, and now in St. Augustine. It's Best Bet.
And we do thank our friends from the Best Bet. Now, don't forget, on Memorial Day, May 26th brings you $3,000 high hands every hour from 1 to 11 at all of those Best Bet locations. That's St. Augustine, just off of 95. That's US 17 in Orange Park. And, of course, right over here, next, very close to where we are, Monument Road. That's the Jacksonville location. Memorial Day, May 26th, $3,000 high hands every hour. That's 1 until 11. Head to the Best Bet. You'll be glad you did. Just a wonderful place. They do a wonderful job. It really is. It's a clean, healthy, a lot of fun. About everybody I know hangs out at the Best Bet. You should as well. Always the Best Bet Monday on this program. Good to talk some Jaguars. We'll get back to that a little bit later on, some golf as well. Ruben Chinyelu is coming back to Florida. Said this at the top of the program. There was no doubt he was, but I liked hearing it nonetheless. I can also tell you that he's going to be a good. He'll really help them now. He had to get his feet wet. I mean, he's that physical presence that got them beat last year in the tournament against Colorado. Went and got him, and he was a big part of that national championship. With him back, I'll tell you this: without knowing about Condon, and without knowing whether or not they're going to get Boogie Fland. So right now, if it's Chinyelu, Houck, I'm going to say Xavier Lee. Let's say the two Browns are the other two starters for today. It's A.J. Brown and Isaiah Brown. Okay, let's say that's the two guard and a small forward. And then the two freshmen, Ingram and Lloyd, are in the or Clavsar is a factor, Henlockton off the bench. You know, if that's their team today, that's a Sweet 16 team today. Today, that in my opinion, that is a Sweet 16 team.
I would agree.
Okay. If they get Condon to come back, and I think he's going to, although I'm getting a little more nervous about it, but I think he's coming back. But if Condon comes back, for people that don't know, a 6'11 and a half, essentially a 7-footer who runs the floor like a small forward. And if they get Boogie Fland, who's one of the best freshmen in the country last year, and all indications are that they're going to. That's. I would be disappointed if they're not a Final Four team. Let me say that again, because that's a strong comment. I would be if they get Fland, if Condon comes back and they get Fland, and now that we know Chinyalu's coming back, I would be disappointed. I've said this before. When they won it in 2006, we were so shocked. And then everybody came back. I would have been disappointed if they didn't get to the Final Four the next year. They may not win the thing. It's hard to win it. Okay, I'd have been disappointed. We just saw Patrick Young in here today. He was part of the Guggen. I would have been disappointed if that 14 team didn't get to the Final Four. They won 30 games in a row. It was a really good team. I'd have been disappointed if that team didn't get to the Final Four. I've rarely felt that way. If they get Condon to come back and they get Boogie Fland, the outstanding Arkansas freshman who's now in the portal and who's visiting Florida today and tomorrow, by the way, if they get both of those, and you gotta wonder if the chemistry will work. Chemistry is a big deal in basketball, man. But I'd be disappointed if they don't go to the Final Four. That's how strong I feel about the team if those two guys are on the team next year.
I mean, you could make a case that team would be more talented than the team that just won the national title.
That's
now,
right.
To your point, you don't know about, will it have Elijah Martin's tenacity? Will it have Will Richards' perseverance? Will it have Walter Clayton Jr.'s clutch performance?
Great point.
So there is a lot of cohesiveness that you don't know about. But from a talent standpoint, I mean, well, obviously, Houck, Condon, Chinyelu, and Henlockton will all be better. I mean, that's just the nature of being a year older,
That's right.
Another offseason, more familiarity with what Golden wants. Obviously, Condon's going to work on his outside shot. If his outside shot becomes what it's become with Houck, I mean, he's somebody that can go from being, a early second-round pick. I mean, he might be the 7th pick in the draft in a year. I mean, because he doesn't have anything that's going to limit him from an athletic standpoint in terms of the NBA. So with him, it's really more about just becoming a better player and developing a little bit more of an NBA game in terms of that outside shot. So, yeah, I mean, Zaven Lee, I think, has an outstanding chance with running Todd Golden's system to be an all-SEC kind of performer. Boogie Fland was averaging 15 points a game as a freshman before he broke his hand against Florida in the 3rd SEC game.
And, by the way, one of the best, as a freshman, one of the best assist-to-turnover ratios in the country.
Yeah, I mean, I think if they're able to – if they get Condon to return, and, again, in the world of NIL, I mean, returning to Florida is a couple $1 million, maybe a little bit more in his bank. It's not like he's – putting off the financial reward if he goes back to school. He will be a very rich man if he returns to Florida. And if they get Boogie Fland, I mean, I think the expectations will be go win it again. I mean, that's too much to put on them. But, yeah, absolutely, to be a Final Four team, I think absolutely should be a fair expectation. It's asking an awful lot, but this is a team that just showed with this coaching staff they can go – they can cut down every net. They cut down how many nuts they cut down last year? SEC tournament,
right?
Win the regional,
right?
And the national title. I mean, they were on a ladder a lot, and they might be, back on multiple ladders again next year if they can get Condon and Fland on this roster.
Yeah, they will be one of the. Here's what will happen: the year will start, and there will be 5 or 6 teams. Duke will always be in there.
St. John's
next year's team will be Houston again. Will be in there.
Houston will be good.
Yeah, they'll be one of the 4 or 5 that are mentioned. Here's what Condon's dealing with. If you the first round money is guaranteed in the NBA and is slotted. So last year, according to Spot Rack, you're way better at this stuff than I am, but I've been reading it like a fool lately. Okay, but last year whoever was the 30th pick in the draft got $2.2 million. That was slotted dollars, and it goes up every year. So reading, the guess is the 30th pick will be guaranteed about 2.4 or 2.5 this year. That's what everybody's projecting. So you're guaranteed 2.4, 2.5 if you're the 30th pick in the draft. That means if you're the 27th pick in the draft, you're going to get 2.8. And if you're the 24th pick, you're going to get 3.1. Or reading it's how it went. So he is a borderline first-round guy at best. I told you last week I read 5 mocks and he wasn't in any of the first rounds. ESPN had him the first pick of the second round. Now, if you go in the second round, then it's just whatever deal your agent can get you. There's no guarantee. You might get guaranteed money, but it's not slotted. You're not assured of it. It depends on the deal you get. Well, everything you're hearing is Florida's going to pay him 2.5. So everything you hear is Florida has got 2.5 put aside for Alex Condon. Well, if that's the case, you're guaranteed the 2.5 if you go back. Your best case scenario is he's what? Honestly, 27th, 28th.
That's what I would think.
And that's high. Best case. So the best case scenario is you're probably 2.7, 2.8, and you're rolling the dice. You go to Florida, there's no rolling of the dice. You're getting your $2.5 million, and you all of a sudden can improve your draft stock. What if you start bombing threes, which you can do?
Yeah.
All of it. And what if you make that step you're talking about? Now all of a sudden you get picked 17th, and it's a year later. Well, now you're in the $4 million range. So now you got your 2.5 that you just banked from coming back to Florida, and you get guaranteed $4 million in the 26th draft. That's why people think if they were guessing he's going to come back.
I mean, again,
and that's how the numbers would play out.
Well, and obviously he has an agent, and you have to, what is the agent going to recommend? Well, I mean, the agent's going to work in the best interest of his or her client, but you still are looking at it from a business standpoint. And I think if you're the agent, you're going to say, let's take that $2.5 million that we know we have from Florida. We have that, and let's go that route. Because I do think he's the kind of player that could greatly improve his stock.
Because everybody knows him now.
Everybody knows him. He also has a lot of clumsy film. I mean, he's got some bad moments on film. Now, maybe that's because of the injuries. He had a couple of ankle things. But, I mean, particularly in the Final Four, I mean, Alex Condon had moments where it was almost like you got to get him off the court.
Yeah.
So not only can he develop the outside shot, it also, I think, enables him to have a year where He's more in control of his game at all times. He doesn't have moments where it's like, what is that? How did he forget to dribble there? And so, again, it's a very competitive draft. We've talked about it. I mean, I think Janai Broome is an outstanding player. They have no interest in him in that league at all. I mean, he's like a mid-second round guy.
You're right.
And so, I don't know. I don't track it, but I would assume next year's draft maybe isn't quite as strong. So, I mean, if I was his agent, I'd say, let's take this $2.5 million. That commission I know is secured,
right? As
opposed to, staying in the draft and maybe you end up going 35th, and financially it's a big misstep. So, and again, we talk about this with the NFL. A lot of times it's not only where you picked from a financial standpoint, it's the commitment that the organization taking you has to make to you. If you take a player with the final pick in the first round, okay, yes, there's some expectation there. If you take a player in the second round in the NBA, I don't think there's any expectation really at all.
That's correct.
Well, if you take
some can make it, but there's not.
Yeah, let's flash forward a year. If a team takes Alex Condon 14th overall in the draft next year, they're going to give him every opportunity to show he can play at the NBA level. So that's the other thing you have to keep in mind. And, you have to think being in Gainesville as a reigning national champion is a pretty good place to be if you're Alex Condon. We know how close he is from a friendship standpoint with Thomas Houck. I'd be surprised if he stayed in the draft unless he just, really his professional career, trumps everything. And if it does, he's been a great Gator, and best of luck to him. But the best thing for Alex Condon in his future would be to return to Florida.
By the way, one final thing. We'll go to break here. I want to get to some golf and some other stuff. We got headlines all coming up in the second hour. But here's how bizarre some of that is. I watched Janai Broome a bunch. Okay? I also watched Colin Murray Boyles from South Carolina a few times, including in Florida. Okay? Both 6'8", 6'9" guys. In my opinion, there's no comparison who's the better college player.
Right.
Janai Broome was either player of the year or about to become. I didn't even know who Colin Murray Boyles was. And I watched the game, and I thought, okay, he made a few threes. He's in the top 10 in every mock you see, and Broome is in the middle of the second round.
Yeah.
Isn't that weird?
Very weird.
I mean, again, football's never like that. If a football player looks really good in college, and he's not going to be behind a guy that didn't – it just doesn't work like that. But Colin Murray Boyles – I vaguely remember him from the Florida game because Florida played lousy that game.
Right.
And he played a good game, but he is in the top 10, top 12 of every mock draft. And Janai Broome, people have no interest. Who was the guy Florida got from Virginia Tech, the big guy?
Blackshear?
Yes. Janai Broome's like him. He plays below the rim. Mm-hmm. He's not very athletic. And for that reason, you knew the NBA would. Now he's better than Blackshear was,
right?
But he's the same kind of guy.
Good comparison in terms of
not athletic,
limited athletically.
Yeah, unlike a guy like Condon and Chinyulu who play way above the rim. So it'll be interesting to see. But again, I think if Condon comes back and they get Fland, they will be one of the 3 or 4 teams to beat in America next year, and I'd be surprised.
What if Condon stays in the draft but they get Fland?
That's a great question. They'll be very good. Condon, I think, is a difference maker because that would give them one of the best guards in the country and one of the best inside big guys. Thomas Houck's a really good player, but he won't dominate the interior the way I think Condon will. Great question. If they get Fland and Condon stays in the draft, which means Houck essentially is their 4. By the way, if that happens, I think they'll go get another big guy. But I think Houck essentially is their 4. Then it really does come down to between A.J. Brown and Isaiah Brown and C.J. Ingram, who's the small forward and how good is the small forward? Or did they get the Australian guy? I forget his name, but
Henshaw.
Yeah.
Something like that.
But so it then becomes but they'll still be very good. If they get Fland, I'd be surprised. I'll make that an Elite 8 team. How about that? Right in the middle. Is that fair?
That is fair.
Because I think they'll be a very good team either way. We'll see. All right. We'll take a break. Let's talk some golf. The PGA is behind us. I got some thoughts about the golf, the tour moving forward. We'll talk about that. We got some more Jaguars coming up and headlines. This is 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
It's the ride home with the Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
May is Military Appreciation Month, and Nimnik proudly salutes the brave men and women who serve and have served this country. As a thank you, they're offering an additional $750 off select new Chevrolets in every vehicle purchased at Nimnik supports K9s for Warriors. So from all the folks at Nimnik, thank you for service and sacrifice. It's also truck season at Nimnik. Did you know that? This month you can save up to $12,000 off a new Silverado or get financing rates as low as 0%. That's right, 0% financing. Now, unlike most dealerships, Nimnik Chevrolet has the largest inventory on the ground ready for you to explore. And with their extensive selection, you're sure to find your perfect truck at Nimnik. Available now, the all-new Silverado EV, designed to go the difference. So you get the deal. It's truck season. All kind of trucks available. And in May, we celebrate the military. That's what's going on at Nimnik. Head there today. Chevrolet, together let's drive.
More videos, more podcasts, more Jaguars, preps, and college football. More of everything you love about Jacksonville sport at 1010XL.com.
I'm Chris Campione. Auto accidents can leave you feeling lost and overwhelmed. But at Campione Law, we're here to guide you with a personal touch through every step of the process. We don't get paid unless you get paid. CampioneLaw.com.
Count on Campione, Campione Law.
Since 1901, generations of skilled union workers have built the backbone of our community. Hospitals, schools, the buildings where you work. Every year, a new apprentice class of Local 234, plumbers, pipe fitters, and HVAC technicians is stepping up, trained, driven, and ready to do great things. They're not just building our city, they're building their future. Local 234, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit UA234.com to become a member or contractor today.
I'm with Greg from Cycles of Jacksonville, and Triumph has been a legend on-road. They've branched out to their off-road division as well. Give us the latest on what you can find on the asphalt.
They've got some great new products. They've got the Scrambler 400s you can get into for a little less than you might think. It's a great price point bike, but still a Triumph.
So affordability is also part of the equation.
It is, and it looks good, and it rides good.
CyclesofJacksonville.com, or check them out on their Facebook page, the showroom ready and waiting for you on Atlantic near Regency at Cycles of Jacksonville.
Are your monthly bills keeping you up at night, wondering how you got so behind? Hey, I'm Roger Moore, CEO of Loan Pronto. I get it. Life is expensive now. Insurance, groceries, cars. And then there's the credit card debt with those obscene interest rates. It's time to regain your financial freedom. And that's what we offer at Loan Pronto, using the power of the equity in your home. We have multiple ways to get you the cash you need, and most clients close in 2 weeks or less, and many don't even require an appraisal. And listen, rates have been plummeting recently. We just locked a homeowner in with an APR in the low fives, saving her over $1,000 per month, and put $10,000 in her pocket. Life-changing money. Whether you're drowning in debt, have a nosebleed rate you got last year, need home improvements, or simply need cash in your pocket, we can help you accomplish this goal in record time. Call us today and get started with no hard credit pull, just a conversation. LoanPronto.com, 904-999-1508. LoanPronto.com. That's LoanPronto.com.
Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, NMLSConsumerAccess.org.
Need fresh and flavorful lunch? Chicken Salad Chick has scratch-made Southern-style chicken salad in every bite. It's quick and delicious, so why wait? Come taste the best chicken salad today at Town Center, Durbin Park, or Butler Point at Chicken Salad Chick.
Home of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach. He used to cover the Jags. Now he's a CBS Sports senior NFL writer.
Well, I believe you got everybody's attention.
He's Pete Prisco. Friday afternoons on The Frangie Show. Brought to you by Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles on 1010XL.
Reclaim a pain-free life with Rebound Rehab. If you've been injured or simply feeling the effects of an active life, you can rely on Rebound Rehabilitation to get you back in the game. Sitting on the sidelines isn't any fun. Trust Rebound Rehab's team of trained physical therapists to get you back up to speed and feeling full again. Now more convenient than ever. 11 locations to serve you, including new offices in Riverside across from St. Vincent's, Point Meadows, and Middleburg. Just log on to reboundrehab.com to see all they've got to offer.
Brian and Angela Wall here with Window World. You've heard us talk about it. Window World, the #1 window replacement company in the USA, selling over 1 million windows each year for the past 8 years.
That's a lot of satisfied customers, and why J.D. Powers has awarded Window World Best in Customer Satisfaction 3 out of 4 years.
Window World stands behind their slogan, simply the best for less. With Window World, you get top quality windows at a price that leaves more of your money in your bank account, and you get the absolute best guarantee there is in the window replacement industry. When compared to our competition, there is none. See for yourself. Call the competition, get quotes from them. But before you buy, get Window World's free estimate and compare the quality of the windows and the price.
You'll see.
And when your new Window World windows are installed and they're saving you money on your energy bills, if anything goes wrong with those windows, Window World and I will be there to make it right. That's my guarantee.
Call Window World today. Start saving money on your new windows and your energy bills and take vacation with your savings. Window World, online at windowworldneflorida.com.
Window World, simply the best for less. Thank you for your business.
Window World also offers energy-efficient doors and siding.
Your home is more than walls and a roof. It's where you breathe, drink, and power through life. At Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing, we're here to keep it all running smoothly. From clean, cool air to clean water, reliable power to expert plumbing, we do it all. For over 35 years, families have trusted Donovan to make their homes healthier, safer, and more comfortable. Call Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing today. 904-270-COOL, where health meets home.
I'm Max Fink with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update, brought to you by Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning. The Gators baseball team made a statement this weekend, closing out their regular season with a series win against the 18th-ranked Alabama Crimson Tide. The Gators have now won 6 straight SEC series in a row thanks to a 7-6 win Friday and a 9-3 win Sunday. The Gators started SEC play 1-11 on the season, but after getting red hot, they finished up with a conference record of 15-15 to get to an even 500 heading into the SEC tournament. The UNF softball team had a milestone season that unfortunately came to a close over the weekend. After winning their first ever ASUN tournament, the Ospreys appeared in the NCAA regionals for the first time, winning their first ever NCAA tournament game against Virginia this weekend. It's 92 degrees at 5 o'clock. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
It's a Best Bet Monday on The Frangie Show with fantastic locations in Jacksonville, Orange Park, and now in St. Augustine. It's Best Bet.
The Poker Atlas Tournament Series returns to Best Bet St. Augustine next month. You can catch all the excitement. That's from June 5th through the 15th. All kind of tournaments at all 3 of those great locations. Jacksonville's right around the corner from here on Monument. The Orange Park location is on US 17, and of course that St. Augustine location, it's gorgeous, man. Just saw it the other day, right off the interstate, off I-95, right there in St. Augustine. And the Poker Atlas Tournament Series returns. That is June 5th to June 15th. Frank Frangie, Hayes Carline, local or on location here at Hidden Hills. This was the site of the Guggen. We sure had a big time here. We appreciate the folks at Hidden Hills having us out. We always appreciate them. And of course, Coastal Equipment, the sponsor of this thing every year. Our friend Jack O'Brien, our member of our sales staff and longtime friend of ours, does a great job putting this on. It was a gorgeous day for a little warm today, but everybody had a big time. So we are glad to be here at the Guggen as we wrap this up. 1 hour to go here in the program. So Scotty Scheffler wins. We asked this question after Rory won here, after he won the Masters. As we move forward, is it the year of Rory? And it's hard not to think it might be. So now the question is it the year of Scotty? Is it the year of Rory and Scotty? Does Bryson DeChambeau rear his head? Remember, he's the defending Open champion now. What happens moving forward? And I know it's not that case. This isn't a black and white question. There's some gray area in there. But what's your mood and expectations as we move forward here?
Yeah, I think it's those 3. Rory McIlroy, I think it was just a whirlwind week. I think it just coming off the Masters Championship, getting in front of microphones on Wednesday and saying, I've done everything I need to do in the game of golf. Well, that's probably not the mindset you want to have as you're getting ready to tee off in a major championship. So I think there was such a relief and euphoria in Rory from winning at Augusta that he never was able to really get mentally right for Quail Hollow. And I think the evidence is there because it's a course he's absolutely dominated, and he was, T47 at 3 over par. So so mentally he wasn't there. But I think that's a quick snap out of it. I think Oakmont sets up it's like Quail Hollow. It's got way more history, Oakmont. But the last time the U.S. Open was played there was 2015, and it was Dustin Johnson that won the event. In 2015, Dustin Johnson was an elite player and one of the longest players on tour. So I obviously Rory McIlroy I think this will be a blip. So I think he's an absolute contender. Scotty Scheffler is going to be a contender in anything. As long as the golf tournament occurs on planet Earth, Scotty Scheffler.
Which is where they're playing them
Correct.
these days. That's what they're doing.
Yeah, if we start doing intergalactic competition,
then maybe not.
Then maybe Scheffler will be in trouble. But until then, he's a contender on any course. And I do think the way Bryson DeChambeau can overpower golf courses, he is going to be able to do that at Oakmont. Now, so if he can get some improvements in his short game and his iron play, then he can make a run at it. I'm hopeful for Jon Rahm. It was good seeing him back in contention and refreshing to see him talk about how much it means to him to be back as a factor. Now, obviously, he didn't close well yesterday, and that's going to be a reoccurring thing with the LIV guys, because to me, there's two categories of LIV guys. They're the guys that have completely fallen off the planet, like Cam Smith, Koepka, DJ, completely fallen off the planet. You wouldn't even know they're playing golf anymore. Then you've got two guys. You've got DeChambeau, who's been established for about a year, like you said, reigning U.S. Open champion, and he contended it. He's been great in the majors lately, the last 2 years. It's good to see Rahm starting to find his form, but you do go back to DeChambeau and Rahm's inability to close and really put incredible pressure on Scheffler. We saw it Saturday with DeChambeau at the Green Mile. He fell apart. We saw it with Rahm yesterday, back nine. He fell apart. So I think in looking at it at Oakmont, it's three guys. It's Roy. It's Scotty Scheffler first, because he just won the PGA, and even before then was 32 under at his last event on the PGA Tour, the Byron Nelson. So he's on complete fire. Rory McIlroy, I give him a pass on this week. I think he didn't handle it well mentally, whether that was the driver failing the test, which, maybe that got him upset. He didn't drive it particularly well. Whatever it was, I think it had more to do with probably just the euphoria of winning the Masters and an inability to reset himself. But he'll be fine for Oakmont. He'll be motivated. And DeChambeau. It's those three. I think I would be surprised if you see anybody outside of those three. As competitive as the sport is, I still think Hovland can do some magical things. Justin Thomas has played well this year, although disappointing miscut at Quail Hollow this past week. Morikawa was playing good golf. Didn't really ever find his form at the PGA. There's a lot of great players, but I think Rory, Scheffler, and Bryson DeChambeau have elevated themselves above everybody.
Let me give you the money list on the PGA Tour. Now, this doesn't obviously include the LIV guys, so DeChambeau and Rahm won't be in here. Rory obviously is the leading money winner, over $13 million. Scotty Scheffler second now, $10 million. Remember, Rory's won 3 times this year. Scotty's won twice. Justin Thomas is third. At least for right now, Justin Thomas, 32-year-old, and he's 32, not 42. He's 32. Obviously, Rory's 36. Scheffler's 28. Justin Thomas is 32. He's over $8 million. He is one. He's had 6 top 10s. Okay, so he's certainly played at a good level. Sepp Straka is a guy I would keep an eye on. Okay, a guy people don't know very well. He's also 32. He's not a kid. A former Georgia Bulldog, obviously. Aren't they all, it seems like sometimes. He's won twice now this year. He's got 4 top 10s. I think if there's another guy, Morikawa's 6th on this list. He has not won this year, but he's had 3 top 10s. So to your point, he's right around it. Ludwig Oberg, everybody talks about. He's only 25 years old. He's won once. He's got 3 top 10s. Everybody thinks he's going to emerge. If I gave you this list of guys and said, who's the next emerging young guy, it would be Ludwig Oberg, and he's younger than everybody else I've read out here. He's only 25 years old. So I would think somebody out of that group emerges. Corey Connors has played well. Maverick McNeely has played well. But I would think that's the group. I agree with you. McIlroy, Scheffler, and DeChambeau are the 3 that are going to scare the pin the most at these majors. But Justin Thomas is 3rd on the tour money list. And again, DeChambeau and Rahm aren't on that list. But Thomas is 3rd. Do you have any hope for JT
sure.
to make a run? I mean, he has really played well. I mean, Justin Thomas has 6 top 10s in 12 events. Now, I don't mean cuts. He has 6 top 10s in the 12 events he started. That's golfing your ball there now.
I was surprised he missed the cut at Quail Hollow because obviously he'd won the PGA there in 2017, and they'd redone the course and things like that. But still, you would think that with him playing at a high level coming in, he'd have been more competitive than not being around for the weekend. But yeah, I mean, he's got the right mentality for a U.S. Open. I mean, Justin Thomas is one of the more mentally tough players. I still marvel at the round he put up in the Players Championship, the third round,
right?
In the worst weather conditions that tournament will probably ever see. So Justin Thomas has that kind of mentality that can really take him far, and obviously he's world-class talent. So yeah, I mean, could he be a factor at Oakmont? Absolutely, he could be a factor. But the weaponry right now that Rory has off the tee, that Bryson has off the tee, Rory with his more all-around game than Bryson. Bryson more spectacular with the length. But then you've got Scottie Scheffler, who is a A- to A+ in everything across the board. Whereas Rory and Bryson have areas where maybe they're not quite as sharp.
He's the most complete player.
Yeah, so it's hard for me to see anyone else winning at Oakmont and Royal Portrush is. I think that's more open because you could get bad weather. You could be in a draw where you're playing early and then late, where you're getting the bad part of the weather as opposed to somebody that was playing late on Thursday, early Friday. So the British Open, it's hard by its nature. It tends to bring more people into the field because of the wild weather element. But at Oakmont, at a place where they've played the U.S. Open more than anywhere else, all the history that's there, elite players win at Oakmont. Jack Nicklaus has won at Oakmont. I mean, you go down the line of the U.S. Opens and the big events that have been held there, it's usually a Hall of Fame caliber player. Dustin Johnson is a Hall of Fame caliber player. His game is lost now, but when he won it in 2015, he was an elite player. It's going to be somebody that can hit the ball a ton, hit it accurately. So that's why I think Scheffler, Rory, DeChambeau. To me, it's one of those three will be the U.S. Open champion.
All right, we'll take a break. We've got headlines on the other side. We're live at Hidden Hills as we wrap up the Guggen. This is 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
The Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Frank Frangie here. These days, it's hard to know which companies to trust. When it comes to banking, I trust South State Bank. South State truly values its customers, and they work hard to create meaningful, lasting relationships. I love going into my local branch. I see the same smiling faces I've seen for years. South State is the largest bank headquartered in Florida, so they're able to offer all the banking services you need. You can trust South State Bank. Banking forward. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender.
It's the power of the spoken word and your imagination.
Daniel Murphy waits on the 0-1, and there's a drive. Deep right field. That ball's gone.
1010XL, your radio home for play-by-play.
Daniel Murphy.
Hi, folks. I'm Frank Frangie. If you have a sweet tooth like me, the sweetest desserts in town come from Spoonful Bakery. Spoonful is an online bakery. They deliver boxes of assorted desserts right to your home or office. They're so good, and they make for great gifts for friends or clients. And if you want custom orders, wedding cakes or birthday cakes, or catered desserts for an event, they are the best. Log on to spoonful-bakery.com or call them at 904-515-4984. That's Spoonful Bakery for the sweetest desserts in town.
Buying a diamond, wedding band, or piece of fashion jewelry in Jacksonville? You have two choices. You can go to locally owned Beard's Diamonds, or you can go to one of those mega national chain jewelry stores. The national chains are pretty much all the same. In fact, did you know that some of them are owned by the same conglomerate? Yes, the same Wall Street company owns all the big names. So if you're looking for extreme value with genuine personal attention, come experience the Beard's Diamond difference. At Beard's, our diamonds come straight from the source. We hand select each one for maximum brilliance. We don't have to apply corporate markups and tack on salespeople commissions, so we beat the chains on price every single day. Beard's has the strongest warranties, not gotcha clauses and fine print. Beard's has all the top designers, including Tacori and Viraggio. Beard's doesn't have out-of-state regional managers calling about sales quotas. We are all local, family-owned with total freedom to do what's right for our customers. Beard's Diamonds, all the selection, quality, value, and service you want from local people, accountable only to you. Beard's in the St. John's Town Center.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialist is now offering ortho walk-in appointments. If you have an immediate need for orthopedic care, contact Southeast Orthopedic Specialist immediately. Avoid ERs and urgent care waiting rooms. For more information, go to se-ortho.com.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
This is Hayes Carline, and I'm so proud of my guy, Leon Searcy.
Man, I used to want to eat all the time, but just 1 month on Physician Guided Weight Loss, and I've already dropped 15 pounds.
And I lost 25. No side effects, just results.
The GLP, one curbs my cravings and keeps me feeling full. It's been easier than I expected, and I feel amazing.
Their staff is great, and best of all, no surprise costs.
If you're ready to bring sexy back this summer, visit pgweightloss.com.
Physician Guided Weight Loss, safe, doctor supervised.
And it works.
It's Work Zone Awareness Week, Florida. Every year, lives are lost in work zones because of speeding and distractions. When you see orange cones, remember, slow down, follow the signs, and stay focused. Workers are counting on you to get home safely, and so are their families. Let's work together to prevent crashes and save lives. A safety reminder from the Florida Department of Transportation. Slow your roll. Safety's the goal.
Hammer and Hayes Carline, and I've been known to drop an opinion like a 2-ton hammer. Weekdays on The Frangie Show.
Hammer Time with Hayes on 1010XL. Driven by Southside Kia. Online at SouthsideKiaJacks.com.
All right, gentlemen, we've trained for this. We've battled the elements. But if there's one thing we can't afford, it's letting the heat take us out before the big game.
But, Coach, the AC at my house is busted. I barely got any sleep last night.
Well, Johnson, you should have called Cool Cats Heating and Cooling. They're the real MVPs. Now let's cue the cool music.
Cool Cats Heating and Cooling. The coolest cats in town.
Collisions happen on every play in football. Collisions also happen every day on the road. If you need auto body repair, from a $30 job to a $30,000 job, trust San Jose Collision in Mandarin.
Looking for a great place to enjoy some craft creations and soak up some scenery? Fernandina's Mocama Beer Company is a must-see and must-try. Nassau County knows it. Visitors need to find out about it. Mocama means near the big water where the sun is born. And if you visit their tap room in Fernandina Beach, you'll see how they've mastered equal parts precision and art in creating great flavors from IPAs to Pilsners, lagers, and sours, plus plenty more. Mocama.com, Mocama Beer Company. Start an adventure and find them in Fernandina.
David here with Royal Pest Services. Man, don't let your yard be torn up by that heavy aeration machine this spring. Visit RoyalPestServices.com to learn more about our granular aeration. Broadcast throughout the tree and shrubs to break up that compacted soil. Visit RoyalPestServices.com.
Swing into the hottest party of the summer. Join First Tee Door Florida at the Yards on June 12th for the Summer Soiree Baja Beach Bash. We're bringing the vibrant spirit of Cabo San Lucas to the First Coast for an evening of family-friendly fun. Enjoy live music, craft cocktails, golf games, raffle prizes, and delicious Mexican-inspired cuisine from Taco Lu. Golf, fiesta, and philanthropy, all to support the impactful programs of the First Tee. Visit firstteenorthflorida.org/summer soiree to secure your tickets today.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? Gather round. It's Hayes' Headlines, presented by Harrell & Harrell. Don't settle for less than you deserve. Hear all about it. Here's Hayes Carline.
All right, welcome back to the Frangie Show. Frank Frangie, JJ La Silva. I'm Hayes Carline. Let's start with Jaguars practice. Frank, the heat kind of affected the performance, hearing Liam Cohen talk about it, but overall, I thought it was a good first workout. We're off and running.
Yeah, I did too. Listen, you're not going to, people say, I heard there were a lot of drops. I heard there were interceptions. Well, sure, the offense hadn't been together. It's a brand new system. It's a lot of brand new players. Defense will always be ahead, and they're supposed to be. The last thing I want is a brand new, my team practicing against my team. Nobody knows the offensive plays yet. They've not been together, and they go up and down the field on the defense. That's not so. No, I thought it was good. It was a good feel. It's hot now, but it was a good feel. It was good to see the players, to see how they look, to see how the team's going to look as a group. I thought it was fun. We went through some details of it earlier. but I thought a lot of things kind of stood out. I really did.
Absolutely. Liam Cohen spoke after practice and was asked about how Travis Hunter is acclimating from classroom to the field. This was his response.
I think so far so good. I mean, he had a couple missed assignments today that, he knew right away. He came off the grass and took accountability for him. The one thing you notice is a guy that hasn't played a ton of football or, been out conditioning maybe for the last 2 months because he was on a little bit of a tour. The guy can run forever. I mean, he just kind of goes, runs a route, runs back, runs. I mean, you can tell he's in football shape, and he was, he's done a nice job. Edgar Barrett, the coaches, Ron Milas, those guys have done a great job of meeting with him when they've had time to do so, and Travis has worked hard at getting this stuff right.
Yeah, the one of the things too, Trevor said the same thing. Guy can run forever. The guy's never tired. He's lean. He looks like a marathon runner, and he can run forever. A handful of things that stood out to me. I told you at the top of the program. De'Ami Brown's going to be good. Just keep an eye on him. I keep hearing about him. Everyone hears about Hunter and Brian Thomas Jr. I think De'Ami Brown is right there with that group. I think that's a trio that's going to be very good. Boy, Devin Lloyd looked leaner. So did Trayvon Walker. So did Josh Hines-Allen. It looked like these guys are leaner than they have been. That stood out to me. Fred Johnson is about as big as Mount Everest. That's a big man. He's the biggest guy on the team. He looks really big, like one of the big Eagles linemen. He played for them last year. The offensive line group as a group looked good. Yeah, I thought it looked good. Yeah, there were some drops and some interceptions, but I thought seeing the group together, I thought they looked really good. It was fun seeing them out there.
Liam Cohen says the Jaguars will practice with the Dolphins, so a joint practice at Miami.
That'll be the last game of the 3. They will not have a joint practice. They talked about some other ones with other teams. I think there was some conversation. But where they landed, you saw the schedule. They play a home game against the Steelers. They play a road game against the Saints. And then their final season game is a road game in Miami. And I would imagine starters don't play in that game. So if you have, they've done this in the past, if your joint practice is your final game, then the work all gets done during the week, and then you see a bunch of backups in the game, and I think that's what they'll wind up doing.
You mentioned Trevor Lawrence speaking after practice. He was asked about Liam Cohen's offense, and this is what he said.
I really like it. It has a lot of answers. It's great. I mean, it puts a lot on the players. You have to know your stuff, but it gives you all the answers. You don't feel like you're stuck in a play that's not set up for success. It gives us a lot of answers, and we change the presentation a lot, make a lot of things look the same. There's a whole lot of, without going into too much detail, there's a lot of things that I like about it, and it's definitely unlike any system that I've learned before. So it's been cool to learn and just pick the coach's brain and try to get it down as fast as possible.
You have it, you have to test it, pass it.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have everything in yet. We build up to that, but from what we have in so far, yeah, I would hope so. That's what I've been working to try to, get it all down. I feel good about it. Just got to now take it from knowing it to second nature, to where you don't think about it. You hear the play call, you spit it out, you go play, and you play fast, and you're not thinking about it. That's always kind of the transition when you learn a system. You got to get it down to where you can just react.
Giving you all the answers was something that Baker Mayfield talked a lot about last season with Liam Cohen, and if Trevor Lawrence can make that kind of a jump, this team's going to win a lot of games.
Well, I think, for number one, Trevor's now in year 5. I always talk about that. Quarterbacks from year 5 to 10 are at their best. Hayes, the other thing, too, is the downsides. People say, well, now Trevor's had to learn a third offense in 5 years. Well, let me tell you the other side. He's now learned how to learn offenses. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
He's learned. I mean, at Clemson, it was an offense. Urban had an offense. Now Doug had an offense. Now it's another offense. But once you learn, I thought he said something really, really not only intelligent, but unveiling of where he is now. He now knows how to learn an offense. You got to learn it. Then you got to get to where it's second nature. Then you got to get to where everybody else learned it. And you progress as you put more in. I think he has adapted the art of learning an offense, if that makes sense. And I like where because he now knows how to learn an offense, and I think he's going to do very well. I can't wait to watch him.
Absolutely. Around the NFL today, the 49ers extend star linebacker Fred Warner 3 years, $63 million.
I think he might be the best middle linebacker in football. He runs, he's physical, he's tough, he can cover. He's a really good player. He's a good leader. He's a type A personality. I think that's a great extension, and good for him, good for them.
That must be a happy locker room. Kittle, Purdy, and Fred Warner all got big deals this offseason. Another happy guy, Nick Sirianni in Philadelphia. Not only did he guide the Eagles to the World Championship, but he got a nice contract extension today. Sirianni is 48-20 with the Eagles.
And a ring. And you know what? He deserves that. There's some people thought he was on the hot seat. Maybe he was. But you know what? He answered with the title. He's a young guy. He deserves that. And back to the 49ers for a second. You're right, Hayes. They're in a really good place. And that's one of those tough road games the Jags will have to play early in the year. They go to the Bay Area. So, the 49ers are in a good place, and so are the Eagles.
Yeah, without a doubt. Let's get it to golf, the PGA Championship. Scotty Scheffler dominant, finishing at 11 under to win by 5 strokes. Scheffler captured his 3rd major, joining his 2 Masters triumphs. He pocketed $3.4 million with the win and gave us one of the cuter moments we'll see in sports this year. Sets little 1-year-old Bennett down, hands him his hat, hands him his scorecard, and then Scotty can go and do what he needs to do to make his victory official. Major dad triumph there for Scotty Scheffler.
Yeah, he's a good champion. He's a very spiritual guy. He loves his wife. The kids are there with him. He's a good champion. You know that? You made a point earlier that he's not a hero guy that says, hey, come look at my fancy trophy room. He's just kind of a regular cat. He's not charismatic. He's not Tiger. He's not Bryson. Even Rory's got a little charisma to him. He's not that guy. He's just a regular cat, isn't he? I mean, he's the guy you could bump into at Starbucks at 9 o'clock. He's in there reading his iPad and having a cup of Joe, right? I think he's a good guy to be one of the better players in the world, if not the best.
The Live guys contended, then fell apart. Bryson DeChambeau took the lead late Saturday afternoon before really getting into trouble on the Green Mile. Played it 3 over on Saturday afternoon to sort of fall back, and at that point you knew he was going to need something spectacular on Sunday. Wasn't able to muster that. Still runner-up finish, tied with a couple other guys, but in terms of winning the event, fell back. And Jon Rahm, good to see Jon Rahm actually be relevant in a major again after a couple of years. He was able to tie Scheffler at 9 under at one point yesterday, but finished just at 4 under. He really fell off the pace. And then pretty much every other Live player of note really had a poor, either really poor couple days and missed the cut, or just wasn't really a factor.
Yeah, that's the only 2 guys really that I think are going to come from Live on a regular basis. Maybe Cam Smith has something left, maybe a few others, but as far as a regular basis, those are the only 2 guys. Rahm, it was painful to watch. I felt bad for him down the stretch. Some uncharacteristic mistakes, and he couldn't get a break either. He had a few shots that could have stopped, that could have rolled off the greens, and so. Yeah, but you know what? I've always liked Jon Rahm. I wish he wasn't a Live guy. I always kind of rooted for him, so I kind of liked watching him be in the money for a while.
Yeah, it was good to see him back in there for sure, and we'll see if that can carry over. My guess is it probably can. Rory McIlroy, the reigning Masters champion, had a miserable week, tying for 47th place at 3 over. Just never really got in a groove. I kept waiting for Rory McIlroy to put up a 65 Saturday or maybe even a 66 on Sunday, and just never was able to harness anything at a venue that he has dominated.
Yeah, I think you said it best at the top of the program, and we talked about it last week. Would it factor? So much attention, or no one is even talking about Scotty Scheffler. Nobody was even talking about anybody else. All the attention was on Rory because he had won the Masters and because he had won here and because he was playing so well. I mean, Rory McIlroy, man, I mean, he's played in 9 events, okay? He has 5 top 10s, and he's got 3 wins. He only had 9 events. And so to have played that well, there was so much scrutiny and so much attention. And I'm not saying he collapsed or choked toward it, but there was a lot going on. And sometimes when there's a lot going on, you also have to play really good golf on really hard golf courses, and I think that was part of all of it.
Getting into the NBA, we are now on to the conference finals. We will have Pacers versus Knicks and Timberwolves versus Thunder. What do you think about this for the league?
I think Pacers-Knicks has nice heritage. I mean, everybody remember. I say everybody, and I guess not everybody, but there's a lot of people that have watched the league for a long time that love the Reggie Miller, Spike Lee remembrance. You know, I mean, that was one of the fun stretches, didn't you?
Oh yeah.
Reggie Miller coming off the screens, drilling those threes, looking over at Spike Lee. I thought that was a fun time in basketball. If you look at basketball storylines that didn't involve Lakers Celtics, that didn't involve the Warriors run or the Spurs run or LeBron, That's a memorable one, and I thought so. There's heritage in that series, which I really liked. There's no heritage with Thunder T-Wolves. No, there's nothing. There's nothing there but two damn good basketball teams and two emerging stars in Gilgeous-Alexander and Edwards. So two emerging teams, young teams with each with one mega star on them, versus a series that don't get me wrong, Brunson and Halliburton are really good players too, but that series is more about its history, at least to me. The other one's about the young stars. I tell you what though, Jalen Brunson, Tyrese Halliburton, and then of course Edwards and Gilgeous-Alexander. That might be tomorrow's NBA, Hayes. That's four really good star players, and they've all made their conference finals.
Absolutely. In college basketball, Ruben Chinlelu is returning to Florida after considering the NBA draft. Chinlelu averaged 6 points and 6.6 rebounds a game for the national champs.
Yeah, the numbers don't tell his impact. He was the physicality. He was the enforcer. You have to have an enforcer. Florida found that out. That was a really complete team. He was the physicality of the team. If they're a passing team, then he was the running game. And that's when you need to have that, right? If you got pass rushers, well, he was the run stuffer. And he was that guy. You kind of knew he was coming back, but it's still good to hear it, that it's official. He'll be their starting center. Micah Handlockton will be their backup center. I think Alex Condon ultimately will come back. I'm not as sure of that as I was a week ago, but I think he'll come back, and I think if Florida lands this Boogie Flan guy that's visiting now and Condon comes back, they will go into the season as a top 5. I can't imagine starting the season anywhere, if both guys are there, anything other than a top 5 team in every poll.
Without a doubt, and I think they'll have a lot of support for being the preseason number 1 team. Let's get to Major League Baseball. The Braves take the series over the Red Sox at Fenway. Our own correspondent, JJ LaSelva, was there. JJ, how was your trip to Fenway?
I just want to say you're welcome to all the Braves fans for waking up the bats. Yeah, it was a blast. I was there for Friday and Saturday. Missed the Sunday game, unfortunately. I had to fly back, but they put up 10 runs yesterday, so I don't know.
What did you say to the team?
I was like, listen, you guys do it for us. Okay, everything, the blood, sweat, and tears I put into this. Yeah, so I hopefully the Braves wake up from their slumber of like not hitting the last year and a half.
And you would recommend Fenway to any baseball fan?
Oh my God! Yeah, obviously, it was the coolest experience, sports-wise, baseball-wise, in my life.
Very cool. Well, we're glad you got a chance to do that. Glad you got back safe. Let's get to college baseball. The Gators defeat Alabama to win their 6th straight SEC series. The Gators got 2 of 3 from the Crimson Tide, and now they're on to the SEC tournament with a chance to possibly earn a regional.
Yeah, they won another series after losing Luke Heyman, yet another good player. Colby Shelton's still down. It's amazing how well they are playing. I mean, they are really they're playing as well as anybody in the country. The latest projection I saw now is that they don't get a regional, but they wind up as the number 2 in North Carolina. Good luck to anybody where Florida shows up as the number 2 seed. But they've won 6 straight series to end the season. They're still just the 10 seed in the SEC tournament. But my goodness, if they played well down the stretch. And by the way, one guy I really want to talk, Aiden King. He's from Bishop Snyder High School. He grew up in Jacksonville. Boy, has he been a megastar. He might be their best pitcher. He's a freshman. He's been throwing the Sunday game to the 3rd game of the SEC series Saturday last week. He might be their best pitcher, Hayes. Liam Peterson's their high draft pick. He's their Friday starter. But boy, this guy, Aiden King, every time out. What from Bishop Snyder High School right here in Jacksonville. We had him in our tournament 2 or 3 different years in our walk-off tournament. What a good-looking pitcher he is. He really is.
Yeah, that's awesome. We will get you out on our musical note of the day. We are celebrating a special anniversary today. On this day back 39 years ago, Peter Gabriel releases the album So. The album features Red Rain, In Your Eyes, and Big Time. But this was the massive hit. Sledgehammer became not just one of the biggest songs of the 1980s, but the definitive music video for creativity and animation. Peter Gabriel was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame for his work with Genesis in 2010 and for his solo career in 2014.
I can see the video right now. Can't you? You can see the video right now, can't you? Well done, as always. Back to wrap the program from Hidden Hills after this.
It's the ride home with The Frangie Show. From the Harrell and Harrell studio, don't settle for less than you deserve.
This is Brent Musburger's Visa in Action update on 1010XL. Brought to you by Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning. When you're stuck, call the Duck. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
The NBA Western Conference Finals beginning on Tuesday night, Game 1 between the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Minnesota Timberwolves. The Thunder are 6.5-point favorite, minus 115 against the spread. The Timberwolves getting the 6.5 points, minus 105. On the money line, Minnesota plus 235, Oklahoma City minus 290. The over-under at 215.5. In the Eastern Conference Finals, New York will be home on Wednesday night hosting the Indiana Pacers. The Knicks are a 4.5-point favorite, minus 105 against the spread. Pacers getting the 4.5, minus 115. On the money line, the Pacers are plus 150, New York minus 175, and the over-under in that game, 222.5. Earn cash back on your gaming transactions with the GBank Signature Visa Card at vsin.com/GBank. I'm Tony Desiri with your Visa in Action update on 1010XL.
Got a leaky faucet, AC blowing hot air, a funky smelling septic tank? No worries, Duck Rooter has your back. We're your one-stop shop for plumbing, septic, and air conditioning, so you can stop juggling 3 companies and just make one easy call. Our expert techs are fast, friendly, and really know their ducks. I mean stuff. Call 904-862-6769 or visit duckduckrooter.com. Duck Rooter, plumbing, septic, AC, and a whole lot of quacking good service.
Frangie here. May is Military Appreciation Month, and Nimnik Chevrolet proudly salutes the brave men and women who serve and have served our country. As a thank you, Nimnik is offering an additional $750 off select new Chevrolets, and every vehicle purchased at Nimnik supports K9s for Warriors. Nimnik Chevrolet thanks you for your service and your sacrifice. Shop online at nimnikchevy.com or visit the dealership at the corner of Park Street and Cassett Avenue. Who's got more new Chevrolets at the best prices? Nobody but Nimnik. Chevrolet, together let's drive. If you need an insurance agent, I'll recommend the best guy in town, State Farm agent Craig Dewhurst. Call him at 940-9740. Really good guy, really good agent. Life insurance, homeowners, automotive, you name it, he'll handle it for you. Tell him what you need. He'll assess your whole situation. What kind of coverage do you need? How much coverage? What should your deductible be? What do you make and how does it fit your cost and your rates? You will love dealing with Craig. What a nice guy he is and how he'll help you get the right answers. The best in the business. Craig Dewhurst from State Farm, 940-9740.
Enhance your home with Renewal by Anderson's superior craftsmanship and timeless design. Right now, buy 2 windows or patio doors and get the third at 60% off. Plus, 0 down, no payments, and no interest for 12 months. This offer expires May 31st. Renewal by Anderson, proud partner of the Florida Gators. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free consultation.
License number CGC 1527613.
It's not too late for a deep spring cleaning on your home. Give my friends at Zero Res a call. May Mayhem. 3-room special starting at $149, plus the 4th room is free. Visit ZeroResJacksonville.com and tell them 1010XL sent you.
Zero Res.
Skilled trade jobs are booming. So begin your high-pay, high-demand career today through the Northeast Florida Builders Association. Their apprenticeship program provides paid training in some of the most highly sought-after skilled trades. Get paid while you train full-time in carpentry, electrical, HVAC, or plumbing. Plus, earn a 10% raise every year, and the classes are 100% tuition-free. Start your new career today and apply this week at nefpaapprenticeship.org.
Mark Watson with Hardball Creative, here to share with you an actual client review.
Dude, these shirts are sick.
Check out the shirts and other sick promo items at hardballcreative.com.
Hardball Creative. Hardball does it all.
The future starts now.
Let's go.
Follow 1010XL's coverage of organized team activities, cooked up by Hurricane Grill and Wings and Heroes Lawn Care. Keep the offseason rolling with AA Automotive and 1010XL.
Hacker here, taking you back exactly 1 year this week. I was only 9 weeks into Awaken 180 and had already dropped 54 pounds. Seriously, that's like shedding a first grader in just over 2 months. That's wild, right? Fast forward to today, 2 months into my maintenance, and I'm still down over 115 pounds. Not a pound put back on. It's like Awaken 180 gave my weight a permanent eviction notice. Now listen up. We all want to have goals, but sometimes they seem to be far-fetched. This one won't be. Dropping 40 pounds by the 4th with Awaken 180. It's doable when you have a proven program with an excellent coach by your side. Weekly weight loss, enjoying the ride, and reaching your goal. We all did it. No reason you can't. Set your goal, make the call, and reach 40 by the 4th with the solution for weight loss. Online at awaken180weightloss.com or call 844-346-1800.
Maxed out on credit cards, struggling with high-interest debt? You could pay it all off in days with Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan. Hey, it's Prosser here. Get cash out now without touching your low-rate first mortgage. No appraisals, no waiting, no BS. The Rapid Equity Loan Program at Loan Pronto is amazing. One Loan Pronto client just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours. They paid off debt, renovated their kitchen, and cut their monthly expenses by $1,800. That's a huge turnaround. Instant approvals, low rates, no hard credit pull up front. That's Loan Pronto. Listen, your home equity is yours. Use it. Get cash to consolidate your debt down to one easy, low monthly payment. Call Loan Pronto now for a free instant appraisal for your home and see how much cash you can get today. Loan Pronto is an A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau and have nearly 2,500 5-star Google reviews. Call now and start the conversation. Go to loanpronto.com or call 999-1508. That's loanpronto.com.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, the cool down from the cool guys at Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing. Fast, reliable, and honest service since '87.
All right, we are live at the Guggen. Man, we wrapped up a wonderful day of golf here. Thanks again to the folks at Hidden Hills for always having us out, and Coastal Equipment, who sponsors this thing, and our buddy Jack O'Brien from our staff, who does such a good job putting it on. And mostly thanks to all our sponsors and fans and so many that came out here and were part of this. We certainly do appreciate that. We talked a lot about the Jags. Hayes and I were at the Jaguars practice, among others. Hacker was out there. Baloo was out there. Mia got out there. And so a lot of the 1010 crew and a lot of the media were out there today.
Yeah, we saw Mike Dempsey.
Mike was out there. Absolutely, he was. So, and you were on Mike's show today. I'll be joining Mike and Tony on Wednesday, so I look forward to that. So a lot of the 1010 crew was out there today. So we talked a lot about that, what our impressions were of the Jags, practice, seeing them all together for the first time. Scotty Scheffler won the PGA. We certainly talked at length about that. Ruben Chinyelu back to Florida. Is the center on the basketball team. We talked even a little bit about the NBA Finals, and that is where we've been over the course of the program today. I will have to tell you, since we talked baseball earlier, I watched yesterday because I was clicking back and forth with the PGA. Paul Skeens threw a complete game, 3-hitter, and lost 1-0.
Oh,
and I'm telling you, the 3 hits. They didn't. The Phillies who can really hit now. That's Bryce Harper and Schwarber and Trey Turner and on and on and on. Didn't square one up all day. They did not barrel one up all day. 3. They scored 1 run on what should have been a double play ball, but the guy beat it. 1-0 over the Pittsburgh Pirates. Paul Skeens now, they are 3-7 in his starts.
Wow.
Okay? He's got a 2.34 ERA. They are 3-7 in his starts.
I saw something, and I'm assuming this is clickbait. It wasn't written by like Buster Olney or anything, but I saw it, and it was speculating, and it was on a fairly reputable website. And it was saying, it basically was, should the Pirates go ahead and trade Paul Skeens to the Yankees now?
Yeah,
I don't know if you saw the
Mark
article.
Madden wrote it.
Was it a legitimate?
It's in the Tribune. It's in one of the Pittsburgh papers.
Is it a legitimate storyline?
Yeah, I did not read it.
Okay.
I just saw it today. Just saw the headline. I'm going to go back and read it. His theory is go ahead and get. They can't do that because they would be. Number one, he's one of the best players in baseball.
And you've got him under control, you said, for like 5 more years.
5 more
right?
years. So they won't do it, but they said that's the way to do it. Now, I haven't read it yet, but it's disgusting how they haven't tried to put a team around him. Hey, let me give you a stat. JJ, you want a baseball stat? I gave it to you last week. I'll give it to you
Please.
Again. The Pittsburgh Pirates have now had 23 straight games where they haven't scored more than 4 runs. Okay, hang on. The Major League record is 25.
Wow.
They started the Major Leagues in 1876.
And we got another one tonight in an hour. 6:40. Be there. Break the record.
Since 1876.
Wow.
No team has gone 25 games in a row. Okay? That's the record. We're at 23.
That's amazing.
Paul Skeens threw a 3-hitter yesterday. Complete game. A 3-hit complete game. 3 singles. The Philadelphia Phillies and lost 1-0.
What would they get if They traded him.
Well, you'd get every prospect somebody had.
Yeah.
But who cares?
Right.
They won't develop them. They'll trade them away if they become good.
Right.
Right. They'll get the wrong guys. The Yankees will say, "Hey, let me give you Joe."
Yeah.
And if the Pirates will go, "Joe sounds good. Let's get Joe. Let's get Joe, Bob, Steve, and Jose. Let's get those 4, okay?" The Pirates will go, "Hey, sounds good." They won't make it out of Double-A. So,
that's amazing.
But 23 in a row that they haven't gotten to a 5th run. JJ, you watch as much baseball as anybody. Can you fathom?
No, because
I
watch the Braves every night, and I thought that was bad. At least they'll still have a game where they put up 5 or 6 runs accident. Like, sometimes you get a pitcher, like this weekend was a perfect example, where they'll, walk the bases loaded. They'll walk in 2 runs. You're relying on the pitchers for the other team to not be that terrible for 25 straight games. It's almost impossible.
The record's 25. They're at 23.
Who set that record? The Pirates last year?
Probably. But you know what? It's a good question. I don't know who has the record, but the Pirates, as bad as they've been, they broke their own record at about 14. Okay? Wow. I think the franchise record was 14.
That's amazing.
They
23.
blew past that.
They roared past it, didn't they? So anyway, I'm watching the game, and you almost now watch it. You almost root for it now.
Which is just sad. You've got this really generational player.
Right.
And they're just doing nothing to help him.
And so they fire the manager, and they're going to fire the GM. And let me tell you what's going to happen. They'll bring in another manager GM. They'll show up in their spiffy sports coats. They'll wax poetic about the beauty of PNC Park and the heritage of the Pirates and the loyalty of the fans and the great region. And in 5 years, they'll fire them again, and they'll bring in more guys with their sports coats. And that's what I got, okay? That's what I got going for me.
They need to sell that team.
The guy won't sell the team.
I find that just remarkable because everybody in Pittsburgh must hate him.
He's the most hated guy in town, and it's amazing. They fly banners over the stadium saying "sell the team." During the games, there's the banners. They started one time a week ago. They started a "sell the team" chant that was so loud that the Sportsnet Pittsburgh turned it down.
Wow!
They turned down the crowd sound so you couldn't hear the "sell the team" chants at the game. That's what I got going for me. Okay,
that's bad.
How about
news.
that? Let's say hello to Rick Ballou.
Now the 2-minute drill. Serviced by Cool Cats Heating and Cooling. Locally owned and operated. We're your neighbors. CoolCatsJacks.com.
The coolest cats in town.
The Marlins of 2022 have that record, JJ tells. I was sharing that with
for now.
I was sharing that stat with my friend Rick Ballou, who's a big baseball guy out there today. But, Rick, I won't make you relive my agony. I'll ask you what you thought when you were at the Jaguars today. What jumped off the page for you?
Well, speed. And that's the number one thing. And, a lot of good things out there today, a couple of things that obviously need some work. But I found it intriguing, a brand new staff, so many new players. And I thought it was a pretty good session. I think most would agree that, the defense way ahead of the offense at this point. But that's probably the case in, I don't know, maybe 28, 29, 30 of the 32 camps around the NFL. But I tell you what really got to me, and I never complain about the heat, but if I didn't know any better, I would have thought today was late July, early August training camp weather, not mini camp weather.
It was hot, wasn't it? It really was. It was really hot out there, which is good. Liam said, listen, guys got to get used to playing in this.
Oh, yeah.
Why not? But you're right, Rick. It felt like the middle of late July, early August out there. It really did today. So.
And that was one of my questions. That was one of my questions for one of the newest members of the Jags, obviously Patrick McCarre, who he's dealt with some humidity before and some hot temperatures in Baltimore, but he was the first to say, it's nothing like it was out here today, and he knows it's going to get hotter. So I think the people will enjoy that. He's a guy who's played every offensive line position, and obviously I've always maintained this, and I'm staying with it. I think it is the most important position that needs to be fixed on this football team, and we couldn't tell a lot today because they were not hitting. But, yeah, Patrick McCarre coming up, and just overall all my thoughts on what I saw today during OTA number 1.
All right, Rick, sounds good. We appreciate it.
See
Rick
ya.
Ballou goes into the night right now. By the way, JJ looked this up for me. Before the 22 Marlins, the last team to go this long 1971 Phillies. Okay, so it's been 71 other than.
And
the
I think
Marlins.
I was wrong. The Marlins don't have the actual streak. It's a team from over 100 years ago.
Okay,
so that's who you guys are competing.
The actual streak is 100 years ago.
Yes,
100 years ago. Folks,
sell the team.
Folks, that's our program. Thanks for being part of it. Thanks again to the folks at Hidden Hills and Coastal Equipment for putting on our Guggen today. We'll be back in studio tomorrow. Don't go anywhere. Rick Ballou is next. For Hayes and JJ, I'm Frank Frangie. So long.